What's up, everybody? It's another edition of the SuperStar Show with yours truly, Chad Levine, the Superstar Lender. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal week out there. I know me, I've been grinding it out. I'm super excited for the weekend, and I'm also happy for the fall weather. I don't know about everyone out there, but for me, the crisp and the cool is nice. A nice break from the sweat and the rest of the stuff out there. So hopefully everyone's out there having a good time. I'm super excited for my guest today, someone that I've followed for a while since I got in this game. And the purpose of today's theme, she inspires today's theme, like every other guest does, is branding. This particular agent that I've been following for quite some time does an amazing job at making her brand, her RCB Living brand, look crisp, look clean, look cutting edge. And she's on point with everything she does. And to me, that exemplifies some aspect of a superstar, because the one thing I tell everybody is you always have to have a brand. It's that stamp you leave every time you do something for people to remember you by and to think of you when you're gonna do something, right? You want people to remember you. That brand means everything. And to me, she is a brand master. So I've been working a little while to get her on. I'm super excited to have her. She's out in the cold. So let's get rocking. Let's bring on Miss Robin Carter from RCB Living out of Berkshire Hathaway. How are you, Robin?
I'm doing good. How are you? Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much.
Hey, most people don't realize when they come on the show, I have a little bit of theme behind it and I do a little bit of research.
You have me as the brand master. No, that's kind of funny.
Well, you're going to laugh, but you want to know something, believe it or not. And I know you do these things with intention because I know that I can see, but you are very much on point with how you're always representing yourself. And to me, that's extremely important in building your business and building your brand. And you know what, Robin? A lot of people don't have that skill. They really don't. So that's a good thing. That's why we're celebrating. That's why I'm bringing you on. That's what I want to talk about for the most part.
Thank you.
All right. So we always start with placing some context. You're an agent. You're out of South Jersey. You're out of Philly, Berkshire Hathaway and Vineland, and then the Philly office at Fifth and Walnut, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So we're going to get going, and we always start back in the beginning to place an overall view of where someone's been in their life and how it's kind of led them to where they are now in the real estate space. So where do you come from? Give us the background of where you started life and, family life and things you did and all that good stuff.
All right. So basically I'll start my adult life. We'll go all the way back.
All right. I usually like to go all the way back, though. You gonna skip out on that?
Would you like to
go? No, the beginning. Where'd you grow up? How many siblings?
I was born in New York, but my family moved to South Jersey around the age of 12, and I have a sister, brother. I have actually 3 sisters total and 2 brothers, and I actually moved recently to Mount Laurel, but I still work out of the Vineland office, and all Berkshire. We all work out of the same offices. Wherever we can go. And anyway, I decided with my fiance at the time, I wanted to purchase our first home, and we actually purchased in a city where it was a little sketch. And our realtor didn't really quite care about, what we were looking for. We were first-time buyers, and we didn't realize what we got ourselves into. We liked the price, we liked the home, but we didn't realize location. So let's talk about just getting into real estate more so. So around that time, I just graduated from college, and I was trying different things. I had already had 2 children, 2 boys. They're now 21 and 24. And kind of after that, I was writing for the paper. I was working I worked at a rest home. I always kept 3 jobs. So And then I was in sales a lot. So I did car sales, I did appliance sales at Art Handlers, I opened the Radio and Flanagan in Harbor Township. And then
Mm-hmm.
I decided I wanted to take a break. So
Mm-hmm.
I got a phone call from my aunt, and she told me there was an opening at a preschool. Just come in because I had a degree and, you know, work for a few hours because she quit. So I was like, all right, I'll try it. And so I kind of gotten into education, doing the substitute teaching also, not having any aspirations to be a teacher, but just to substitute for money. I did that and became a preschool teacher in Bridgeton, and I worked for a private daycare. So when they said, "Oh, there's a grant out there, you can get your P3," I'm like, "Okay, I can pass the test. That's fine. I can do that. I can, go to school for it." And I did, and then eventually got hired at Bridgeton Public School System in the public sector, which was I started out in second grade, third grade, kindergarten, and I loved it in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, it was perfect. I had two young kids, and our schedules were the same. And we had actually during that time sold our home and built another home in Deerfield Township. When my kids were going to Deerfield Township, and they got out of school the same time we did, it was great. And then, you know, school got a little bit difficult with the No Child Left Behind Act, and you know, school hours getting longer and then more required on you. So I didn't like it as much. The administration started to get to me. And I'm the type of person, if I don't like the situation, I never complain about it. I sort of just uplift myself out of the situation and go where I feel I should go. So
Mm-hmm.
people thought I was crazy. I jumped out of an airplane and went skydiving. And I decided that I didn't want to teach anymore. And that was the day that I quit.
So you literally, that was all the same day? You
Uh,
took,
no, I skydived that weekend. It was my birthday, and then that Monday I went in and I said I'm done. Now there
so
were some
you,
things going on with me, on that, actually I was a literacy coach at the time. I wasn't a classroom teacher,
hmm,
and I was like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this because I noticed that, not to put anything out there bad, but the schools weren't for the kids.
mm-hmm,
They were for the testing and all that, and that hurt my heart. So
mm-hmm,
I was that teacher that stood at the door with the comb and the brush and said, brush your hair before you come in here, put lotion on your face, get yourself together, let's go, let's have a great day, you know. And it was, they just wanted these kids to pass the test, and it just wasn't for me.
hmm,
So during that time, though, I was practicing real estate part time. I got
mm-hmm,
myself to a point where I was doing decent money. I was making at least half of my salary after
hmm,
10 years in teaching. So I was like, okay. Um, Now it's 10 years public school, and it was like 5 years previous to preschool. So with that, I said, you know what, I'm gonna take a shot at it. I'm gonna go full time. But then it didn't happen right away. So I decided, I was like, you know what? Everyone keeps saying, Robin, why don't you get in modeling and acting and this, that, and the other? I was like, you know what? Yeah, I have nothing better to do. Why not? So I mean, it's not that I don't have, like, I was never rich. Or my husband, he was a, a regular correction officer. We didn't have like tons of money where I didn't have to work, but I knew I was always a
mm-hmm,
hustler. I could find money anywhere. I attract money,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
So I went ahead and decided to, maybe see about getting an agent and so forth. I got kind of scammed in the beginning out of $10,000, which was fine. But
mm-hmm.
then
Was
after
that the
that,
photo shoot? Is that what
it
that photo shoot? Yeah.
Wilhelmina,
Yeah, yeah,
they had a
yeah.
school, yeah, in Philadelphia, which it wasn't really an agency, right? So then
Mm-hmm,
after that, I met an agent, and then I ended up having 5 agents, and I ended up being in New York like 4 days a week. I was getting jobs like Samsung commercials, Chevy. I did a lot of commercials, and I brought everyone along with my journey. I had another
mm-hmm,
page that was more modeling, acting, and so forth. But then everyone forgot I did real estate.
hmm,
So I was kind of like, the money was getting a little low. My son entered into Drexel. He was at the prep at the time, so that was a lot of money to spend each year. And then, he got into college, and I was like, wow, I'm going to need to help out a little bit more.
hmm,
So I did. I sort of like stopped the acting and modeling and went on to. I mean, it was money, but it wasn't like great money.
mm-hmm,
And it was sporadic, very sporadic, more sporadic than real estate,
hmm.
because it requires a lot of you going back and forth for a yes or no, and 3 times for one job, and you might make like $1,500, but you spent $500 in traveling.
Right.
So from there, I said, you know what, Robin, buckle down. Let's go. It's time to go full time. And I did. And people will look back at my history. I've been with several brokerages. I've been with Paul Banker. I've been with EXP, Real Broker LLC. I've been with Keller Williams, with Washington Township Keller Williams. I've been with Keller Williams in Millville, Keller Williams in Vineland. I left. I went to Berkshire twice. This is my second time back in Berkshire. And it's just, for me, like I said, if I'm the culture has to be right for me. Like I need high energy around me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if I feel as though it's low energy or I don't feel welcomed or then I'll just exit. And I have no
Mm-hmm.
problem with it. And plus, shiny objects are always waved in front of you to join different brokerages and so forth. And so people are constantly coming to me and say, hey, you want to hear about EXP, or hey, you want to hear about real brokers, or blah blah blah. And you're like, okay. But I'll tell you what. Um, I went to Matt Kersteel's office when he was with EXP, and that was kind of like the best move I've made in real estate regarding foundationally income wise, because I still get a dividend check for when I was there, and I still
Wow.
have some good stocks that I bought at like $7 a stock. So I'm not
Wow.
upset about that move at all. But things moving along. I'm very happy. I was at Berkshire first, and I left because it was in Cherry Hill and it was a
Mm-hmm.
little far and I wasn't living there. So
Mm-hmm.
now, now that I'm in Mount Laurel, I love the area. I love Camden County. I love Burlington County. I love those areas. I love Cumberland County. That's home. But I kind of have Cumberland County on lock a little bit with my farm, my people. Not saying everybody. I'm not trying to claim that I have it all. But
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just growing my team and trying to get more business out where I am by myself individually, and then have my team, work my team in my hometown and keep going. And I still have clients. In fact, I have a client I have to go see in about an hour in Vineland. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much, I have my broker's license. I also work out of Philadelphia. I had a great deal in Philadelphia with an NFL player, sold his home, and I hope to do more business like that because that was really nice. That's some really
Mm-hmm.
nice major deals I'm proud of. And just, I love real estate in itself. It gives me the freedom. I have time freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Even when it's busy, I get to pick and choose who I want to deal with and who I don't want to deal with, especially when you have a team. And then also, um, even just not even dealing with certain people because, it got really crazy 2020 and 2021 early on. I'm glad that the
Mm-hmm.
market's settling down. But for me, I just like helping people. I think that's where, I love teaching. And so that's where I still educate people. I also taught at the college for 5 years. I was an adjunct professor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, done a lot. And the, the thing is, I love inspiring and giving people information because at one point in my life, I didn't have the information to make the
Mm-hmm.
moves that I made. And I had to go seek it myself or fail first. So I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather not see people fail if they can learn through me or, have, learn a little bit more about what, not just real estate, what it is to own. And people really believe that when they own, that they're going to instantly become wealthy or like they attach it to wealth or, and I try to explain like you're not wealthy until you sell it. So
Mm-hmm.
you buy it,
Mm-hmm.
that's great. You don't stay in it 30 years, you sell it. You make money from it and you do it again
Yeah.
and you do it again and you do it again. You keep calling me and I got you, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to run away because I want you to keep calling me so I keep selling it. And if you know that I want you to do that, you know that I'm going to put you in a good investment. So that's sort of like my spiel in working with buyers at least.
That's a good
And
spiel,
selling
though.
it.
I like it.
Yeah,
That's a
so
good
keep
spiel.
selling it. Keep
You,
calling me back.
Valerie Regan sends her regards, by the way. I don't know if you got to see her pop up on there.
I can't even see my screen because it's so sunny
That's
over
all
here.
right.
I'm
I'll give
trying
you.
to.
I'll let
Yeah.
you know when people are shouting you
Hi,
out.
What's going on?
So I want to peel it back a little, if you don't mind. I have a tendency to do this. So like in the earlier parts of your life, what do you find like? What were you like? Were you competitive? Were you athletic? What side of things like prior to college were you into?
So, people don't know I was a high school dropout. I was a troublemaker.
Oh, okay, all right. So
I had
that
no
was in
friends.
South Jersey, right? That was in
Yes.
South Jersey.
It was
Yeah.
a bit of a transition coming from New York with all this mouth,
Mm-hmm.
and ambition
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and spunk, real spunky.
Where in New York? What neighborhood?
The Bronx.
The Bronx. So give us. I don't see. I'm so bad with New York. Like I'm such an idiot. Like I just mix it all. I don't. So I know that there's the boroughs, right? But they all have their unique characteristics, right? So what was it like? Like, give me a synopsis. Like, what was the era? What was it like growing up? Like, do you remember a lot of it?
Yeah, I do. Actually, in the 80s, it was kind of crazy because I kind of, when people talk about like how I live, like my family was like always, I guess, compared to the Huxtables, right?
Mm.
My mom was a homemaker though, but my dad, he worked, and we always like ate dinner at the table, and we were very like proper, right? And we lived in the suburbs of New York, and we, I remember I went to PS68, and then I had a little bit of problem in school as always, and they put me in Nativity, which is a private school, Catholic school.
What'd your dad do? What'd your dad do for a living?
He was a computer technologist. That's all I know. He worked at the Twin Towers, and he worked for AT&T as well. Yeah, that's who he worked with, AT&T. Yeah. Okay. So he would come home with stories like, I met Will Smith. I put in the phone line for Diana Ross, stuff like that.
Wow.
Cool stuff. Yeah. So growing up in
You're
New
just
York,
gonna blow over that. You're just gonna blow over that. Like that was the cool part. You're just gonna blow. Yeah. Okay.
I was born in Brooklyn, and we lived in Flatbush, and I don't remember that part, but I do remember
Brooklyn in the house. I just had to come on and represent Brooklyn real quick for you.
That's right. So I remember I used to skateboard as a kid, up and down the streets, and with my knee pads. I got pictures of that. I was a tomboy.
Wow. All right.
But the decision to move to South Jersey had a lot to do with what was happening in the 80s. We lived in the suburbs, but like crack, it was started to get crazy. There were needles and vials on the ground. I would bring them inside and like, look what I found, and my parents were like, oh my God, what is that? And I remember in public school, you know how you had like the different jobs the teachers would give you, like the board eraser and so forth? There was one job that before we had a playground, there was one job that the teacher would give us a bucket, and whoever, there were two people that had to go and scour the whole playground and put vials and needles inside the bucket. We had to pick them up, and we put them in the bucket before we can go to the class and go play. Yeah, it was crazy. My teacher hit us. Like we used to get hit with the yardstick across our lap.
I can attest to Brooklyn teachers busting your ass when you. I grew up in the 80s too. I'm an 80s. I was raised in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and yes, the teachers will bust your ass. I definitely got power drive by a teacher in the 4th grade. So yeah, in front of the whole class. So
if you didn't know what page you were on or didn't know where to continue in the paragraph, you got that yardstick right across your lap or your ears. You go home and tell your parents, and your parents be like, well, you should have paid attention.
I can attest that this is Brooklyn and this is New York living. It didn't matter where you were from. If you grew up in New York in the 80s, you were definitely, especially in the crack era, when you had to pick up files. We had that campaign too, where we had to clean up our schools park.
Sidewalks and schools and everything. Yes. So we also, and remember that was also the era of when the milk carton and the kids going missing. And I remember this is what got my parents out of there was the drugs, and then it was the black van that they used to go around and kidnap kids all the time. So kidnapping was a big thing when we were trying to leave. So that's what gave us the
When I first came to Camden, I said, this is Brooklyn in the 80s. I was like, this reminds me of Brooklyn in the 80s.
So the only difference is in Jersey, the people don't know how to mind their business. In New York, we mind our business. That's the problem. And everyone knows everybody in Jersey, but nobody knows anybody in New York unless it's family. And it's a culture shock. So that's kind of like what got me in trouble. Like, I would say something about somebody, that stuff would go around so quick, and then boom, Robin's getting ready to be in a fight or something. So it's crazy. It's crazy. But
my bad. I didn't mean to encroach on your interview, I believe.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
No, so like coming from New York to South Jersey was, I fought the first day of school, the second day of school, You know, I was that chick with the, going like this, shaking, doing the snake head when I'm talking and doing all this in your face.
What did you look? What did you look like back in that day? Like, what were you
I had a
looking like?
lot
What?
of hair.
Yeah,
I had a lot of hair.
you
Curly.
What's the movie I'm thinking of with the I can't think of it. Did you have like the big fro, like the big curly fro, or no?
It was big, but it was like spiral curls, like really
Okay.
long. And actually, the first week of school, a girl cut my hair.
Oh, like intentionally?
Yeah, I was sitting up front. I was sitting in front of her, and she grabbed the back of my hair, and she went.
Wow.
And everybody was. All I heard was everyone go, "Oh!" And I turned around, and I wanted to cry. And that was the first time, like, I didn't have a reaction. And then I got that cool haircut, from who's the girls that did Supersonic song? What's the name of that
group?
Oh,
not Tina. Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot the name. Come on, somebody help me. Come on back.
I can't think of it either.
S is for super and the U is for unique.
And then that was redone, wasn't it?
JJ, you talking about JJ? What was the name of it?
JJ what was the name? And
JJ
the girls,
Fad. Supersonic. JJ Fad.
Yeah. So
that might be too old. He might be too young for that. He might be.
No, me?
Yeah.
No, Roller Palace. They used to play that stuff.
The funny thing is, I noticed that when we moved from New York to here, the things that the dress code that I had, like I had every color Converse sneaker, but then when I moved here, like I got made fun of, and then like a year and a half later, everybody started getting Converses, and I remember my mom was like, "What happened to your shoes?" I'm like, "I don't know. I left them in the locker room. I would throw them away. I would get rid of them because I got made fun of." And I noticed that South Jersey was just late in getting music and everything. I came with the ripped up jean jackets and stuff. They're like, "Why are you all ripped up?" And the neon bracelets with that hook to the fingers and the charm necklaces, the plastic. It was just crazy. Netted shirts and stuff. It was just, I just had a different look to me. And, people didn't know where and I had a mouth. So
was that the ultimate reason you ended up getting out? Do you think it's just you were not vibing with everyone in there, or what? Yeah,
South Jersey. It was, you know what? It was so bad that even the teachers, in New York, we were fast paced in the classroom, and the teachers were just so lackadaisy, and they would take forever. So, like, I asked a question, and the teachers take their time, like, "Well, such and such and such and such." I'm like, "Can you please just tell me the answer? Like, what are you talking about here?" Like, like I asked you a question. So it's funny because my dad at the same time, but like, I want you to always speak your mind, right? So I'll be like, "What are you talking about here? Like, I don't understand why you can't just like tell me the answer. You just take it forever." I'm a mess. So you want to hear the funny part is like me being a mess as a student all the way up to high school and dropping out. And I'll tell you that another reason part of me dropping out is because I brought a weapon to school. Won't say what kind, but I got caught, and they called my dad, and my dad said, "All right, she can go. We can take her out and get her GED," because I was a straight A student regardless. I was a straight A student. And I had the brains, but I didn't
probably pissed off the teachers even more, right?
Yeah, it's funny. We used to in high school, we used to like we used to get like there was a guy, he was real cool. His name was Alki. He used to go to his parents' bar after they have a party and put all this different alcohol inside this like soda bottle, and then bring it on. Like we had a shuttle bus from it's called the 910 building to 1112 building. And we used to fill it up with alcohol, all different types. We didn't know what we're doing with kids. And me, 90 pounds in like 10th grade, I'm like drinking, like chugging, go, 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 go. By the time I get to the hallway to get into class, the teachers know, like they're like, "Oh, today we're gonna do this," and we'll get in line, and they'll see me, and I'm all messed up. And the teachers say, the teachers enabled me, a lot of them, because they knew I was smart, but they knew I made bad decisions. So like they were like, "Robin, go sit in the back. Go sit in the back of the room." I got kicked out of Sacred Heart. Like this is crazy. I was a bad kid. So you want to know my childhood? I was horrible.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at the reason. That's all. Everyone has a story. It's just the reason. That's all.
It was the reason. The reason was I hated it here and I hated the vibe. I wanted to go back. I was a childhood performer in New York. Like I used to sing in New York, like different.
Now we're getting there. Okay.
We had so much to do, and then when we moved here, there was nothing to do, like nothing. And then in high school, all people did was smoke weed, do drugs, and have sex. That was it. You know, I played sports though for a very long time. I played. I was like the only girl on the baseball team. My dad was my coach.
Wow.
You know, I did that all the way through ninth grade, and then I got into some basketball, and it was, you know, I love sports and I love being a tomboy. So I was a little rough around the edges as a kid, and it's kind of funny. Like I really need to like jot this down and like share a book or something with my family later, you know, when I get old. But I rose out of it, you know, and it was definitely you know, I realized I guess I'm not going back to New York, so I had to make the best.
But there's a part in there that you touched on that I want to talk about. So talk to me about this entertainment side of you. I want to, because I did see that like in your Facebook. It looks like did you study broadcast journalism, or you took part in it?
I did. I did. I wanted to be a news broadcaster.
Yeah. So talk to me about that. Like, so you were a childhood entertainer. You did singing and dancing. Is that what you said?
Oh, no, I never said dancing, honey. Don't even talk like that. I'm too clumsy for that. I am too clumsy for that. But I definitely did a lot of singing, like a lot of talent shows, a lot of different shows. My parents, you know, they put me in a lot. I even had singing lessons with Sal Dupree from the Duprees. And and then to tell you the truth, I was going to be a childhood model. I got scouted, and they said, all you have to do is get your headshots. And I got my headshots done, and then I got in trouble, and my parents just took it all away from me. They're like, you're too much. So I had friends over the house, and a gun got stolen from my parents' house. So you know, when they weren't home, so you know. So they snatched that out and said, she's not ready. I was too wild. I was wild.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I had a lot of enemies growing up, and I sold homes to about half of them already. And it's like we're all
enemies become clients.
Listen, I fought a couple of my clients back in high school, which is kind of funny. But you know, it's all love. You know, it's like, hey, I appreciate the support.
You got to take advantage of those reunions.
Yes. But
so I want to draw. So there's a lot. So I always try and draw out the interesting stuff. So I'm drawn to the entertainment and modeling part because I see it so much in your branding, right? So what are the things you're doing from that's translating into your like current day stuff that you do for your business? Like, give me that. What's your intention behind your social media? Because it's really, I mean, your social media is like way above average. You know what I mean? Like you do stuff in a very certain sleek, professional way that, you know, and I want to, you know, tell me about that.
So it all started with, you know, actually the way it started was I started taking pictures with clients at closings, and I got in trouble. Like people were complaining, going to the board, saying, why is she posting pictures in the closing room with clients, closed, and this, that, and the other. So
wow.
I will say I was one of the first people. I'm not going to say I was the first, but I was one of the first people that would take pictures at closing back in 2009, 2010.
Wow.
No one was doing it. And I even got, like, someone told me off in a shop, right? Like, you know, you put everyone's business out there, you know, not everyone needs to know who's buying a house. And I'm like, I got their permission. I'm sorry that you feel this way. But yeah, so I started off, you know, posting pictures about what I do. And then when I started doing acting and modeling, I was like, you know what? Photographers were hitting me up. They're like, can I get pictures? You know, we'll do a trade. I'm like, okay. So I get pictures in return. So if I give you these pictures, I want pictures in my professional attire, and you know, I'll use that for my real estate, for my headshots, and for different things. And then I started doing that. Then people started coming to me saying, wow, who do you use? What do you use? And more photographers were coming to me. And then agents were coming up to me like, oh my gosh, you know. And so people were being sent to me like follow Robin, and I would take people on, and I shouldn't have taken a lot of the people that I took on, but I've taken some great people that are actually really great realtors today, and they do the same thing. And you can see it, and some of them have surpassed me, like have gone way past where with their social media, and I'm proud of them. And I just decided to use more professional pictures of myself rather, and post that more so than, pictures of my food and things like that, saying, hey, I'm a realtor or whatever, I'm eating at this place or whatever. And then I just learned the technology side of it through acting. I noticed what they were doing to edit things, and I noticed the programs, when you're in that situation where you're meeting different people who do videography, photography, and I was like, oh, let me get that. So I started doing video and putting little commercial clips together, just basic stuff. And people are like, oh my goodness. And I got really involved, but I got so involved at one point where that's what I was doing and I wasn't selling, right? So there has to be a balance. And now, they say if you don't have time to do something, you pay someone to do it, right? So I haven't really reached the point of paying, but paying for programs that do it a little bit better, Like I was on Canva way before people even knew about Canva. I was on, a lot of the different sites that people didn't even know about that you could use and entwine into your business. And I kind of was all over the place for a while and decided, hey, I need a name, I need to stick to it. And it was RCB. Now, at first, I was known for, what was my name? Pay It Forward. That was my name on Facebook. And then another one was Live It Up RCB. And then RCB Living came out. So the acting and the modeling is just the surroundings and the people that I would meet. They kind of helped me kind of put it in a better light of, being able to present myself and my business. And then coming up with a vision and a mission and a process and making sure, everything I do is a process and it's not just random stuff, so it's a business.
Well,
it's not, I don't wake up and never sell a house.
It's the most intriguing part because today, I mean, especially in real estate, you have to be a self-promoter, you have to be a self-brander, right? And you really taught yourself, but you also taught yourself well because you are really well known in the space. You really are. And I mean, how much of that has translated to business for you? I would assume you get a lot of business from online, right? Social media.
So believe it or not, a lot of the business for me, I spend a little bit of money in Google and I spend money in on Facebook, but a lot of my business comes from word of mouth. And because people, once they deal with me.
Yeah, we lost. Oh, we may have a temporary lapse here. Hold on, everyone. We will be back momentarily here, Robin. So this commercial update is brought to you by we were up.
Make it better marketing.
I'm back.
This commercial break is brought to you by Make It Better Marketing.
If you want to get marketing or money, I got your money. Call me Cash Money Linda. Well, I don't know. I'm not Robin. I was hoping to formally finish this interview. Hopefully, we get back on the screen here with Robin. There she comes. Here she comes. There you are.
Telemarketer calls me. Jeez. Can I disable phone calls or something, or put it to?
You can put it on the Jay. What is that? Airplane or do not disturb? What do we put on?
Not disturb for phone calls.
I'll do it right now.
Do not disturb.
All right. Give me a sec. Let me do that because that was.
Yeah. Do your thing. Do your thing. Hopefully they were selling you something good.
Yeah,
like
right.
An extended car warranty or something.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's website. It's always. All right, hold on. Can you see me? Okay. It's always somebody who says, "Oh, I see you have a domain. We'd like to do your website." Whatever. What was I talking about?
No, we're just talking about your brand and RCB Living and how you've translated that into sales, and you get most of your business word of mouth.
Right.
And that's where we left it.
Yeah, because you know, people know I'm fun loving and I have a lot of energy, but at the same time, I'm very professional. I'm very thorough. I have really good analytical, skills, and I have a lot of resources because people do reach out to me all the time. So like when someone's in a bind, I always tell people like, yeah, it's great you want to deal with your cousin who's a realtor, just got their license, and that's fine. But at the same time, how many deals have done where they know the ins and outs of different situations that they've been in, that they and resources that they have available to them because of those times that they probably never experienced. And that's the thing. Like people think, oh, you just sell a house and that's it. No, there's so many hiccups in title searching, and there's so many hiccups in real estate. Along, mortgage, that, and people understand the intricacies, whatever it's called. So understand that there's a lot of things that just one little thing, if it's offline, or even if the agent is not able to attend to something right away because maybe they're working. I mean, I don't doubt anyone who works real estate and has a job, but at the same time, they also have to have the freedom too to be able to respond and react quickly, because sometimes people need things like right away. Banks for sure, and can't wait till 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock to get to it. So my people know that I'm this is my full-time thing. This is what I do, and I have processes in place. It's kind of funny because I'll get a client that'll actually have like no background in real estate, but want to know what's next, and I'll say it's coming. Everything's in it's the next step. That's the next step. You want a preview of what I do? Okay, I'll give you everything. Okay, now you'll see. Day four, you'll get this. Day 5, you'll get this.
They don't, but the problem is once they know, they don't want to know.
Right. Exactly. So, and I'm very, I'm very firm, and agents like to deal with me too, because I'm going to be on top of. That's another thing people have to realize. You could pick a great agent that performs, so much business, but not necessarily the one doing the business. They have the team doing it, which is great too because they're trained. But you have to know that person has, like, I may have had a lot of enemies back in the day when I was a kid, but now I have a lot of friends. And so when dealing with me, people they like doing deals with me. So and there are people I like doing deals with, and there's people I don't, but when you're in that space and you have buyers and sellers, like, it just makes the deal go better and smoother, where where if you're liked and people want to do deals with you, that's a good thing. So I try to keep in touch with people that I've done deals with, and and I'm at Berkshire, so there's no real reason for me to recruit anyone. It's not, I'm not looking for profit share or anything, but I do keep in touch and write thank you cards, and and thank them for the deal that we did and getting through it. So it's just being courteous and to your coworkers. But the funny thing is, I recently had a breakdown in 2020 where I blocked basically every realtor that I knew. And yesterday I went to a networking event, and one of the realtors came, so she said, "Did you block me? I don't see your post anymore. I've been following you. I got tons of phone calls." I'm like, "How did they know I blocked them?" They're like, "We're waiting for your next post." I'm like, "Oh."
But that's the purpose of my show, Robin. My purpose of my show is to find something unique about you that separates you from the pack, right? And for me, your branding. No one, in my opinion, there are very few that do it like you. There are very few that do it like you, and you do it well. And I give you kudos for that. I think it's awesome and it's admirable. It really, really is. Blocking is the highest compliment. Yeah, right, John.
Listen, and nothing is ever personal with people. Like, because I don't want to hold any kind of like grudge against anyone. It's just whatever's good for my mental health, I gotta do, right?
Sure.
So I'm human, right? And I'll tell people, like, if somebody says, "Did you block me?" I'll say, "Yeah, I blocked you, but it wasn't you individually. I blocked a group of people. You fit the criteria. I'm so sorry." But I'm going back slowly, and everyone had a breakdown in 2020. I don't want to hear it.
So I'm going to ask you 2 quick questions, and I'm going to let you bounce because you got to go. Okay. So does your, forgetting all the other stuff, you as an artist, because that's the best way to put it, modeling, acting, singing, it's an artist. It's a creative person. That's where you find you, and that's what you identify with, right? How do you feel as though real estate has helped you feed that side of yourself? Is this your calling, for lack of a better word?
So what real estate does for me, like how it fulfills me and fills my tank is, um, I like accomplishing goals. I like hitting goals. As you see, I do so much. There's so much more that you don't know about me, but I've done so many different things. It's because I like, it's not that someone has to say, oh, you can't do that, because that doesn't motivate me. Is what have you not done yet, Robin? Go do it, right? And be good at it, be successful at it. And once I do, then I move on. But with real estate, of course, the past 2 years, I won't lie, it's changed my lifestyle, right? And it's changed, it's helped me so much. And what I love about it is just helping people achieve goals, because it just that really, I love good energy and just people smiling and happy, like, oh my God, girl, you did that. Yes, thank you so much. And it's not that I want people to thank me. I just want people to be happy and really, really just be their best version and just like succeed. So that's what real estate does for me. And I've had times where I've told people, like, I don't think you should buy a house right now. And they're ready to buy anything I tell them to buy. And I'm like, I'm looking at your financials, I'm looking at your life situation. I'd rather you call me in 2 years. Let's tackle these goals first. I've actually been like a life coach to like some people in between buying a house. Like, they'll come to me to buy a house and I'll say, you're not ready. Let's do this. Let's get you a job that pays more money, that, because you look like you're not happy. You're going to probably quit your job soon or whatever. And let's get through that. And then we'll talk about buying a home. And I've done that. I still have people waiting, and it's not, and they trust me, and I like that part too. I like when people trust me, because I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I do want to leave a mark on this earth before I leave. I don't want to just exist.
What's the mark? Tell us the mark, and then I'm gonna let you give us it, because I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna put it back on you. You got 2 minutes till 2:20. I know you got to bounce to see a client, so tell me your mark.
I want to leave the mark of the angel in people. No, not the beast. No, I think the if I could leave this world and people know that I've changed their lives to get further than I got, that is really gratifying to me, right? So maybe I'm helping others to get to a better place, or a better place than I am. It's like, wow. It's like your children, right? You want your children to do better than you. You want them. So the way I see it is, I'm not very religious. People know that. I see it as we live here collectively, but we're all here for a purpose, to add to the collectivity of what's around us. And instead of sucking people dry and taking, giving, you're just adding to this collective universe, to this collective world where, you left any mark behind. You left a mark that helped others and helped bring society forward, in the smallest ways too. So the mark I want to leave is just positive empowerment, smiles on people's faces, and knowing that it's not just that moment that you're smiling, like at the closing table, knowing that you're gonna smile when you're going back to sell it again, because you're gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, but you want to know something, Robin? You want to know the truth? And this is my point to close it. People don't give realtors this much. They don't think it's that deep. They don't think it's that deep. To them, it's like a trend. Some people have the relationship, but like to them, it's like, they don't have that perception of the agent. But every time I bring someone on here that's been a superstar in what they do, there's always something deeper they're connected to behind the reason.
Yeah. I mean, there's transactional agents, because they'll get on, like, you won't see me on the phone doing scripts, like calling 300 people a day.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. I just, it's not the rejection part. It's just like, what am I doing here? Am I working?
You're not feeding the soul. You're not feeding the soul.
No.
Yeah. I can dig that. Well, you go to Vineland. You do your thing. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to having more of these discussions, and we're going to have continual shows with follow-ups and all kinds of things that are going to be relevant. So happy holidays to you. And I thank you so much for being on our show.
What's the holiday?
Holiday season. Holiday season. I'm in the season. I'm in the season.
Okay. I gotta get cards out. I gotta get no.
But no, in all seriousness, I really respect what you do. I really have a lot of admiration for it, and mad props, Robin. Keep going, kid.
Thank you. Sure will. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Your
You too.
Team member. Where you at?
Jay, come on and say goodbye, Jason. Come on.
How you doing, Robin? Thanks for coming on the show. We absolutely loved it. I absolutely love when I get my New York peoples that come on. You know what I'm saying? Lets me feel a little bit at home. You know what I'm saying? And again, thanks you. Your story was great, and it resonates with me because yeah, no, it's okay. I was a knucklehead right over there in Bed-Stuy. Right, yeah, I was a Decepticon. I mean, I don't even know what people know what that was, but I was a knucklehead too. So I'm a firm believer that you can turn it around and and be the best person that you can be.
Thank you. All right, guys.
I'm gonna end it. Everyone, thank you for watching the SuperStar Show. Have a great weekend. See you next week. Peace.